Hey guys, I'm just going to do a little bit of a presentation for you guys. I am going to give you some tips and techniques and tricks in order to get a better night's sleep. So I've created here a little bit of a presentation and that you can watch at your own leisure. But basically, this presentation is all about the importance of sleep. And regardless of what your goal is, making sure you get good sleep is essential. So these will be tips for you to get a better night's sleep. All right. So if you want the quick rundown of what these tips are, the very short, in your face, bang, I have a short attention span version is quick tips to improve your sleep. Get every night 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Make sure your room is dark, quiet, and cool. Wake up at the same time every day and get exposed to sunlight as soon as possible. Go to bed at the same time every night. Avoid screen time and stimulants at night. That's the quick overview. Now we're going to delve in a little bit deeper. All right. So first of all, what is sleep? Sleep is a natural way to be when your eyes are closed and you become unconscious. This is where recovery happens. This is where our brain problem solves. This is where we allow our body to rest and recuperate from our stressful lives, the work we've done, the exercise we've done, and it allows also for internal systems to repair. Your nervous system, your digestive system, your respiratory system, your cardiovascular system, everything gets a chance to repair and recover, but it starts with good sleep. Okay, some of the benefits of sleeping well or getting a good night's sleep. First of all, your metabolism is going to improve. So, gut issues, if you don't sleep properly, you become somewhat anxious, and this sometimes, connects straight into the guts, and it makes it harder for you to digest food properly. But if you sleep well, your digestive system and your metabolism will work so much better. And that will lead on to a couple of the bottom points that I've wrote here as well. When you wake up in the morning, you'll be mentally sharper. We've all woke up after a bad night's sleep and it's like we're dragging our feet and we don't know where the fuck we are or what the fuck we're doing. And this is sometimes because we haven't slept well. Your brain hasn't fully recovered. You haven't gone through your recovery sleep properly. And we just wake up in a mess. And normally the thing we go to is a coffee. Having a coffee straight off the bat to get yourself plugged in and wired. But is that really the right way to go about it? Is there a better way? Is getting a good night's sleep the best way to, wake up sharper? Of course. Wake up less moody. That issue that you had with your partner last night isn't going to go away in the morning. And especially if you've been sleeping on it or not sleeping on it, more to the point. We all know what it's like going to bed on an argument and waking up the next morning and you're just like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck the other. But it doesn't even have to be an argument with your partner. It can be just from not having a good night's sleep. It just sets you off on the wrong foot because nothing goes right for you. You forgot to dry your socks for work the next morning. There's no coffee left in the coffee machine. There's dishes still in the sink. You're like, oh, fuck. So the slightest thing can tip you over the edge. It'll increase your libido. All right. Waking up horny is a good indication that you've got a good night's sleep. And that's as simple as it is. If you're not getting good sleep, all your hormones get out of whack and everything goes arseways. But a big indicator is libido. People like to blame this on age. Yeah, I know a lot of fucking people out there that are in their 50s and 60s and still waking up fucking with the morning glory. So good night's sleep is going to help a lot of things, but it'll also help that libido. Giddy up. Of course, it's going to put you into repair mode. And if you're trying to build muscle, because you break down muscle when you train it hard, and you want to build it back stronger, it's going to help you build muscle. because at night you're going to release growth hormone from your body, and everyone needs to release growth hormone when they're asleep in order to help everything recover. Any damage that's done to the body, male, females, growth hormone is an important thing. It's the stuff that keeps you young. Sleep well, stay young. Simples. If you're trying to burn fat, it's hugely important. A good night's sleep, keeping your metabolism going at night while sleeping properly is so important. You will burn fat in your sleep if you've done all the right things during the day and if you've set yourself up for good sleep that night. So remember, at night, you can also burn fat. And if you're trying to get strong, it feeds into what we do with the muscle building thing. You train hard, you stress the nervous system out, you're looking for an adaptation because you're stressing the nervous system out. That nervous system needs to recover. It recovers when you sleep. Giddy up. Okay, here we go. I've quite a list of things that you can do to help improve your sleep. Okay, now you don't need to master all of these straight away. This is a list of stuff that you can get in the PDF that will be with this video, that you can just start implementing slowly. Please do not try and do all of these things at once. It will not work that way. Your sleep takes time to improve, just like it is to build muscle, just like it is to lose body weight, or body fat, should I say. You gotta give it time. Work on these little things slowly. And what we use this list for is this is practicing good sleep hygiene. It will improve, will help improve you for a more restful sleep. I've wrote that obviously arseways, or else I've said it arseways. So sleep hygiene is the key here. First thing we'll look at is sleep according to your circadian rhythm, right? So your circadian rhythm is when you release cortisol in the morning, a hormone in the morning to wake you up, and then you start to release melatonin at night in order to put you to sleep. It's important that you pick the same time every night and every morning to go to sleep, you know, and sleep in and around the same amount of time. Everyone's circadian rhythm will be slightly different, but the majority of people's circadian rhythm is the same. And this is how to know what it is. When the sun rises, that's the time your body starts to want to wake up naturally. When the sun sets, that's when your body again wants to go to sleep. Now, there is a problem. Electronic devices. These devices emit a light that stops your brain from releasing melatonin closer to bedtime. So my recommendation is get off the devices before bed. And we'll get to one of these points later on as we go through our list. But sleep according to your circadian rhythm. 7 to 9 hours of sleep plus a 20-minute nap throughout the day is optimal. Okay. Now, sleep 7 to 9 hours at night. That's the amount of time you should stay in bed. Some people can manage the 9 hours. Some people can't. But aim to get as many hours in bed as possible. If you don't, if you can fit in a quick nap in the day, 20 minutes to 30 minutes maximum. Anything longer, you will start to go into a deeper sleep, and that will interfere with your sleep later in the night. So a little nap throughout the day is optimal. Wake up at the same time every day, 7 days a week. So regardless, set your alarm clock, or, you know, at the moment, because of what's going on, for a lot of people, they're working from at home. They don't have to set an alarm clock. But when you wake up, do your best to get out of bed straight away at the same time. And this will help you set your circadian rhythm in place. Sleep in a pitch black room with no applications. So that means, you know, darken that room down as much as possible. Get any source of light that's in your room out of your room. That can be, if there's a TV in your room, you know, that little dot, that you know, standby dot that's on the screen, that's affecting your sleep. So any sort of a light emitting object that's in your room, get rid of it. Sleep in a quiet room. And if you are near train tracks, or, you know, there's machinery that works near your house early in the morning or late at night, Get yourself some earplugs. Dark and quiet is optimal. Don't take stimulants like caffeine before bed. This should go without saying. Like I'm a firm believer that having any sort of caffeine or stimulant after 3 p.m. in the day is going to affect your sleep in some way. Okay? If you're eating a good, solid, healthy diet and getting all the nutrients you want, you shouldn't need stimulants. So try and avoid the stimulants as much as possible. I love a coffee just as much as the next, but I make sure I have it earlier in the day. All right. Some carbohydrates in your meal 2 hours before bed has shown to help your quality of sleep. Your brain uses carbohydrates or glycogen. Excuse me, I'm trying to shrink my screen a little bit. It uses glycogen as a fuel source. And sometimes at night when we are if we are able to consume carbohydrates, your brain likes to have a source of them before bed. And if you eat some source of carbohydrates, doesn't need to be much. You don't need to have like a full pack of crackers or anything like that. But it just supplies your brain with some glycogen while you're asleep. So your brain won't wake up in the middle of the night producing cortisol to wake you up because it's hungry. There's also, I know there's a few of you that do the ketosis. You're in ketosis, or you use a ketogenic diet, and that means your brain is using ketones as a fuel source. Now, it takes a while to switch your body over to use ketones as a fuel source, but it's possible to do. It just takes a little bit of dedication, and those of you who have done it, congratulations. That's quite an achievement. No TV or phone within an hour of bed. The bright light prevents melatonin secretion. Wearing blue light blocking glasses will help reduce the working impact of electronic devices on their eyes. So my thing is, if you're aiming to be in bed by 10 o'clock, get rid of all electronic devices by 9 o'clock latest. 1 hour at minimum, 2 hours would be ideal. As I've said already, your devices release blue light. So when you wake up in the morning, your eyes require light to help produce cortisol to wake you up. Cortisol is a stress hormone, but it's a useful hormone when it's used correctly. It will wake you up. Then at night, before you go to bed, if you're still on your phone, I'm going to let it myself. So the sunlight on your eyes helps you stop producing melatonin because you want to wake up. So it's part of your circadian rhythm. Now at night, as the sun goes down, your body stops producing cortisol and starts producing melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone in your brain that helps you go to sleep. Now, if you're on your phones or watching telly or, have a lot of devices happening, you're stimulating your brain. You're tricking your brain into telling it it's still morning or it's morning again. So your brain isn't actually going to produce the melatonin. If your brain doesn't produce melatonin, it's very hard for you to get to sleep. So my recommendation is get rid of the phone, put it on flight mode even, and just put it to the side so there's no distractions. Turn off all notifications as well so you're not tempted to look at the phone. Trust me, the messages will be still there in the morning. During the day, take vitamin D or get out in the sun as much as possible. But taking a vitamin D supplement is very, very helpful, especially for your sleep. Take magnesium. If you've trained during the day and you need your nervous system to chill out, because sometimes we can quite stimulate it, magnesium is the best thing to allow your nervous system to settle the fuck back down. Even before bed, for some of you, I've recommended ZMAs, zinc, magnesium, B6. There's a combination. True Protein here in Australia has a great supplement there, the ZMAs. I take those before bed and I have a very deep sleep. Keep your room cool. So you don't want a roasting hot room because the last thing you want is getting in under the mattress or in under the doona, and then all of a sudden you're fucking sweating and there's no escape and you're just like, oh, because in a room that's too hot, none of us can sleep. We can always snuggle up and put on another blanket if we need to, but if the room is too warm, it's going to affect your sleep. All right. Do not use sleep medications. These put you into a coma and your brain never gets into recovery mode. So things like Xanax and Zoloft and different medication like these, they serve their purpose, but taking them on an ongoing basis to help you sleep is not helping you to get into your recovery sleep, which is essential. So my recommendation is to exercise, eat well, get out, get some sun onto your body, into your face, and start working on your sleep routine. Go to bed at the same time, get rid of your devices. It will all help. It will take time. If you are on medications like these, you can't go cold turkey. You have to wean yourself off them slowly, and it takes time, but it is possible. It is possible. Now, for my parents, and parents of fur babies as well, kids and pets should sleep in a separate bed. Every time they move, you move, and it will knock you out of your REM sleep or your REM sleep, which is your dream sleep. Pets and kids away, simple as. It's your job to take care of them, and for you to do your best job possible, it requires you to get a good night's sleep. They will get a good night's sleep, but in their own beds. So do your best to have your own bed to yourself. Meditation can help. If it's something that you're into, I like to sometimes do some guided meditation from YouTube, Alan Watts and stuff like that. So it can definitely help settle the mind, but it takes practice. Journaling your thoughts before bed. If you have a very overactive mind and you lie in bed and you start thinking about thought after thought after thought, and then you're like, oh, what was the first thought I thought about? And you just keep going back and around in a circle. I don't have my notebook, excuse me, here. Oh, I have a notebook. Get yourself a notebook, and just before bed, just scribble down what's in your head. You don't need to look at that notebook again, but the simple act of writing down your thoughts removes them from your brain, and it gives you a sense of peace, which will allow you to settle a little bit more than after that. So journal your notes. A warm shower or bath is definitely helpful before bed, just to help calm yourself down, taking deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. The idea before bed is we want to put ourselves into a calm state. And probably I haven't put it in there as well, but sometimes maybe some stretching. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes of some stretching of the hips, the knees, the shoulders, whatever, will help relax the body as well. The following morning, get sunlight exposure as soon as possible. So the quicker you can get out in the sun, the better, because this is setting your circadian rhythm again. This is getting out, this is switching off the melatonin production and switching on the cortisol. So it's opening your eyes up for the day. It's getting your body ready. It's saying, okay, now we're go time. So then you'll go through your day, and by the end of the day, you will be tired and exhausted and ready for good sleep. It's everything you will do throughout the entire day that will affect the way you sleep that night. From how early you wake up to what you do first thing in the morning, drinking water, very, very important. Not drinking coffee straight away. Get sunlight exposure, get some exercise, wearing yourself out throughout the day, maybe having a nap, but not for too long, 20 to 30 minutes, not having stimulants after 3 p.m. And then as you're getting closer to your bedtime, getting rid of the devices, getting rid of the light production, maybe even wearing blue light blocking glasses from 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. And then once you go to your room is your haven for sleep. It's cool, it's dark, it's quiet. And once you get in there, you are actually ready to sleep. So boys and girls, like, good sleeping habits take time, as I said at the very, very beginning, and give yourself some time. But what the most important takeaway I will say for the beginning of all this is start going to bed at the same time every night and wake up each morning at the same time each and every morning. So practice good sleep hygiene. Over time, it will get better. It's not a one size fits all, and it's not a one thing will absolutely work straight away. It takes time, it takes practice. But by God, you will get there and you will reap the rewards royally. I hope this has helped, boys and girls, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.